the better you feel. So let's have beans for every meal. Toot toot.
Good morning, and it is a good morning. I have made it. No pain, but I haven't eaten a legume. The last legume I ate was the raw peas. Before that episode was over, I am allergic to prawns and that sort of thing. And what they do, my face swells and I get a rash. But what I did on the very last little bit of eating the raw peas, do you know how if you're allergic and you break out, your eyelids feel funny, and they feel sort of rough and like you're getting a rash? Well, that's the last thing I did on the raw peas. So I thought, I'm gonna back off and just see. And one of the worst days I had was when I ate the lentils. I had some peanut butter and I had some pea pods, and all three of those I think really reacted. And I do not want to be. I don't think I'm allergic. I think I'm intolerant, and I want to get my system back. So I've been eating a lot of chicken broth. And I wouldn't say I'm totally on the GAP diet. I don't know that I'm going to be, but for now I am doing vegetables and chicken broth, and the vegetables I cook are very soft. And then also I did some wild caught salmon, but I poached it in the chicken broth. I did some ground hamburger, pasture raised, and I took some carrots, one of my pints of canned carrots that were soft. I smashed them up, mixed them with the ground meat, and poached those in the chicken broth, and they were good. And at this time you're not supposed to use a lot of spices, so I'm beginning to do my chicken broth, and I just thought I would show you what I'm going to be doing. This time I thought, hey, I want really the bones, so what I got, instead of a whole chicken, and I do have some whole pasture raised chickens that I will be using too, but I got thighs and legs just because of the bones, because what I want to make first is the meat broth. In about an hour or less, I'll check the meat to see if it's done. I'll take all the meat off the bones. I'll put them back and redo, just keep doing the chicken broth. And I do it sort of semi-perpetual. I just keep, when I get done, I'll strain some off and jar it up. But then I'll put water right back in, and as I use it, what I drink out, I put in, and I keep simmering it. And this morning, I'm going to be putting in a red onion, half a red onion, a whole onion, some red pepper, some carrots, celery, and a small piece of ginger, and some salt, possibly some whole peppercorns. They don't want anything cracked and that can cause problems. Okay, then, in the GAP diet, they didn't want you to crack your peppercorn at this stage of the game. Okay, the other thing that I want to tell you that I'm doing is I'm going to be adding some vinegar. And I think with what I have here, this is 2 tablespoons. I'm going to do at least a scant 1/4 cup, if not a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to let it set for at least a half an hour. And just let it set and that water begin to work on the chicken and on the soften up and begin to be able to draw out the minerals from the chicken, from the bones and so forth. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and this has been the Memorial Day weekend, and I'm just thank you for those that prayed for me, that I've made it through. And I would say I talked about all of the pain and how extreme it was. Well, it wouldn't start out extreme, and it would start where I'd wonder if this was an ulcer and it was just low grade, and then it would build up and have this really bad pain. And which really surprised me, because in the past I have eaten a lot of beans and legumes and never had trouble, and so it really threw me a curve. I can eat beans and hardly get it. I don't think I get gas anymore because we've eaten so many of them over our lifetime. And so there you have it. Very graphic, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be putting them in here and adding the vinegar. And that is the why of my vinegar, because I want to start getting those bones, the minerals out of the bones. And okay, each time I put in 2 of these, but they weren't heaping, they weren't heaping full. So it was a little less than 1/4 of a cup. Okay, I'll let you go. Have a good day. I hope your Memorial Day weekend was as good as mine, or better.
Beans, a musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So let's have beans for every meal. Toot toot.